sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Okay, guys, here we go. Happy Thursday. I was thinking it was Friday all day. But anyways, so welcome to the live. And of course, you guys, before anything, first and foremost, please hit that like and the share for Jack and Lily. And also, just so you guys know, tomorrow, Charmaine and I will be on the Drunk Turkey show with Daniel. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat there. Mods, if you could post that. I'll put it into my Stream Labs, not StreamYard, but Stream Labs in just a bit here when I can. Anyways, you guys, again, happy Thursday. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Thank you guys all for being here. Jack and Lily. You guys know that Jack and Lily have been missing since May 2nd of 2025. And it's, 3 months and 5 days to be exact of Jack and Lily disappearing. And of course, we don't have any answers. We have thoughts, but we don't have any answers for that. So again, take us to the kids' location. Oh, by the way, whoever told me yesterday to reset my, do a factory reset on my iPad, because the one that my husband bought me, it was like 8 inches. And I'm like, yeah, that's just not going to work. I like at least my 11-inch iPad. But anyway, so I did a factory reset because it was crashing on me I literally had to reboot that, like all the time. Like I wanted to smash that thing, but I couldn't. So I would throw it at my pillow. But anyways, thank you guys for being here today. Yeah, just, when I get lazy, I throw my hair up. Today, just, I don't know, just sat there and worked on my iPad for most of the morning, to be honest, and did that. So now I can finally, I have some RAM free. Okay, you guys. Now, before we get started, I do want to say this, of course, please. Jaden Spicer, he's missing, and it's all over the news, of course, right now. So we just want to take a quick look at another child that's missing. He's 10 years old. Let's see, and it says at approximately 9:23 a.m. on Wednesday, August 6, 2025, Kentucky State Police, KSP, Poston Hazard received a 911 call regarding a missing 10-year-old juvenile in Panbull Branch Road area in the Jackson community. What does that say? In Breathitt County, Kentucky. Jaden Spicer was last seen around 9 p.m. on Tuesday, August 5th, 2025 in his home in Panbull Branch Road. Jaden is believed to have left his residence during the overnight hours or early mornings. He was last seen wearing blue Sonic, the hedging pajama pants, and a matching shirt. Anyone with information regarding Jaden Spicer's whereabouts, please again urge to contact Kentucky State Police at hazard 606-435-6060. Does that say 6060? Make sure I'm reading that right. Does that say 606? You guys, does that say 6060? It looks like it. Yeah, for some reason it's giving me the 9 vibes at the end, but I'm sure it's that. But anyways, so we're just going to watch a quick little video on that. Again, this channel, it covers cases in Canada, in the United States, across the pond, and all those different things. So every child matters, as you guys know. So regardless, when you share it, if you guys could, screenshot it, whatever, share it, or just go to Google, pull it up. And because again, it becomes about your friends, right? You guys will probably have a lot of friends that are out of the United States and stuff like that. So it all matters. And this is one of the things that we know we could do from the true crime community is splash it right across as fast as we can, far and wide. Does it say 6069? Oh, right at the bottom. I was too busy reading the fine print. My Lord, let's try that again. 606-435-6069. Yeah, it was in big letters right at the bottom, and I'm sitting here reading the fine print for that, for sure. But anyways, again, it's stuff like this. It's very scary for any parent whatsoever. I mean, obviously, this child is left into the night, and a matter of trying to find him, make sure that he's okay, of course. And I know I had it up here. I'm just trying to see where I did have it, because I know I had the story up there. Where did it go? Well, let me see here. Give me a second. Oh, I know, because I was on. Oh, okay. So we'll just quickly go share screen, Jaden Spicer. And there was like an update a couple hours ago with this. Is this the one that has the video? You're probably going to make me watch an ad first, aren't you? But anyways, we are racing.
The only place
Yeah, we have to watch an ad.
2 Eiffel Towers, the last remaining Jerry's restaurant, the world's tallest 3-story building, and the only Bourbon County distillery hosting tastings since Prohibition. There's only one Paris, Kentucky.
Okay.
The search for a missing 10-year-old Breathitt County boy continues tonight. State police say Jaden Spicer left his home in the middle of the night on Tuesday.
LEX18's AJ Patel went to the search area today and learned that crews are more concerned about Spicer as time passes.
Anytime you're dealing with a missing individual, it's very tragic anyway. But then you add in the fact that it's a 10-year-old child, and that completely changes the dynamic of it. In this situation, we're keeping hope alive. We're going to continue to search, but we are racing against the clock.
Kentucky State Police, Breathitt County Emergency Management, and local rescue teams have been searching for Jaden Spicer of Breathitt County since yesterday morning.
More time that he spends outside in the elements, unfortunately, statistically speaking, the chances of finding him safely diminish.
Spicer was last seen at his mother's home on Panbull Branch Road in Jackson, right off of Highway 1812. Search and rescue teams are using drones, ATVs, and sonar technology to help locate the child. The child's mother provided a handwritten note to LEX18 saying, "We love Jaden and we want him safe at home," also asking to report any information about Jaden's whereabouts to the Jackson Police Department.
There's lots of coyotes and you've got the snakes and things at night, so a child or even a young adult, probably even adults, aren't safe out in the woods at night.
Mildred Shannon lives more than a mile away from Spicer's house. She says as soon as her family heard what happened, they checked their security cameras for any signs of the child.
Everyone cares, because you wouldn't want your son, your grandson, any child, any young adult. You don't want them lost in the woods at night. It is not safe.
Crews are combing the mountainous 20-mile radius around Spicer's home.
Well, the terrain in itself does make it more difficult.
Trooper Gayhard also says the several bodies of water in the area, like Panhole Lake, makes this search even more complex.
All those here working with the hope that their efforts turn into a reunion for little Jaden and his family.
A life is very important, and this one's no different. So we'll exhaust everything that we can to make sure that we find him safely and bring him home.
In Breathitt County, AJ Patel, LEX18 News.
All right, anyone with information about Jaden Spicer is urged to contact Kentucky State Police Post 13 in Hazard. That number on your screen, 606-435-6069.
Okay, so take down that one. Okay, so again, just always important, right? Again, another child missing. Hopefully this one does have a happy ending for the fact that this child did leave his home intentionally. Oh, hey, Shireen, there you are. I haven't had time to listen to your message on this, but Charmaine, just quickly, I can't listen to your messages. I'm kind of doing the live, but did you fulfill this now? Your buddy bench? Okay. Obviously, I gotta 1 second here. Gotta change this a little bit. Make it a little bit. Maybe I should just make me smaller there. Oh, so we can get that all fit in there. Just so you know, it was like $193 for the buddy bench to be shipped. I believe that's going out tomorrow with it, Charmaine, but just to ask you. Yes, thank you. Okay, no more donations needed. So there was 3 people during the live that sent money to the channel. Again, when it's somebody else's stuff, please do not send money to the channel. YouTube takes 30% of it. And so just don't, okay? Basically, anyways, there were 3 people that donated. I gave Charmaine the money ahead of time, and then I added to it to top it off at $100. And so now she's saying she reached that goal. It's like 193 to get it out there and stuff like that. So we appreciate everyone that did put money towards. You know what? I feel really bad because I know Anon did, and I know Law's family did, but there was one other person that donated like $10. And for the life of me, if you're in here, just let me know who you were. But that was like a couple weeks back. But anyways, you guys, beautiful buddy bench. Hey, Charmaine, do you have the finished picture? Like where it has the Jack and Lily engraving on it? Do you have the finished picture of that? But anyways, you guys. So anyway, if you could just let me know, to be honest with you. So again, tomorrow you guys will be on the Drunk Turkey show. We'll be streaming it to this channel as well. Again, bring awareness to Jack and Lily's case. Thank you, Daniel. Please, I want to say this. Please do not be hard on Daniel from DT. So we'll call him DT, right? That was his first live himself, was it? Talking about that, right? So he's taking a ton of information in right now. And it's kind of like no different than anyone. Everyone's can have their point of view, and that point of view might very much change, right? You can't expect someone to have 3 months of knowledge like we do into a case. So tomorrow night me and Charmaine will be on the Drunk Turkey show. And again, we'll just, it's going to be one of those YOLO lives where we'll just, talk about it. And then if there's incorrect information and stuff like that, we'll talk about it. Daniel, from the Drunk Turkey Show, DT. Again, I can't speak enough about how highly, there's very few people in my life that I speak highly about, because I feel like in my world, you have to exude certain qualities to reach that level. For me, okay, it's my own judgments. And that's where Daniel is with me. He's a great person. Jaime and Blue, when we've been on the show before for the Delphi case and stuff like that. And just great people. I love great people. I can't stress that enough. And you have to have a good character, right? Honesty, integrity. And I like bluntness, right? I like people that don't beat around the bush as well. They just get to the point. Even my son, whenever he tries to ask me for money, I'm like, dude, You know, I already know what you're going to do. Just get to your point. You don't need to do 5 minutes of talking to me. I know what you're asking me. So just get to it. That's kind of like how I am, right? Just cut the shit, get to it. Anyways, you guys. Okay. So we're going to be talking about this gold standard timeline of Janie's. And we're going to go over that again. And that means watching that interview. I do want to, here, I'll take a couple things off the stage here, remove from studio. I do want to bring up a couple pictures. What is the link to the platform? It's right here. Are you talking about Drunk Turkey Show? If so, it's right here. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So again, that's going to be at 8 Central. That means that will be 6 PST, and that would be 10 Nova Scotia time, and obviously 9 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, guys? So again, if you haven't hit that like and share for Jack and Lily, well, get on it. Get her done. Okay, so I want to bring up a couple pictures first. Share screen. No, not share screen. Image file. Image file. Okay, so when I at nighttime, are you calling me Dunny, Jess? Are you calling me at Dunny? Yeah, doing well. Thank you guys. Again, thank you guys for being here. So I'll show this one first. So I remember this picture, and I was given it yesterday again. So this is the picture. So yes, there was swings there. So for anyone that's contemplating that there wasn't swings there when the children disappeared, there was. I distinctly, after I was sent this picture, I remember all the time seeing this picture, and it always actually, I mean, I have it. I just forgot I had it. But anyways, happy birthday to your grandson, P. So yeah, so for anyone that's second guessing that there were swings, weren't swings, okay. So these are the swings were there. They were in an article right at the start of it all. And I always remember kind of looking at it going, you know, it's always hard to look at swings and knowing that 2 children are missing. And then you see this picture of no children in the yard and stuff like that. Hi, Hoosier Mama. How are you? Yeah, you're welcome, Lobster. Thank you, Sharon Parker, Drunk Turkey Show, DT. We'll call him DT, right? So that we can, whenever we're talking about, because his name is Daniel as well, Daniel Martell can be Daniel Martell, and DT can be Daniel, but we'll use DT. As long as my brain tries to keep remembering that. Okay. So I'm going to remove that one. Another picture that really bugs me is, let's see here, is this one right here. Because, you know, these 2 children, apparently, I never doubted that there were swings. I was surprised at how far away from the RV they actually are. And wish I could see and be with, as don't see much due to mom doesn't answer us. Sort of like Belinda at the end. No kids came over. Gotcha. Those swings are brand spanking new, aren't they? No, the swings that I just showed you, or well, however you think of them as new, those swings are from when the children at the very start. That picture, we're talking about going back to like May 2nd, May 3rd. That picture is from that time frame. Okay, so it's not, I mean, if you see the tape on it as well, right? But it's just because, you know, I just like to put out factual information, and if I need to correct something, then obviously we will do so, right? But I know people were talking about it, saying, look, there's no swings, and they had a very blurry picture and stuff like that. That is one part. Hi, Diane. Well, there's one thing I can say. Someone made the swing set for the children. That is one positive I have to say in the whole case. Right? I'm sure, you know what? I think that there's quite a few positives. Now, however I feel and however you guys feel, again, I don't think that Malaya and Daniel are these monstrous parents. By no means. Like, I wouldn't put them in what I would deem as monsters. I think that they had an unhealthy relationship together, based on the words of Malaya controlling and stuff like that, and the way Daniel has put her down in a lot of his messages. Again, being from a domestic violence relationship, well, at least the first one was full tilt domestic violence. The second one, with my ex-husband Steve, that was towards the end that he really, well, I say the end, but I would say out of being married well, we were together total for 17 years. And I think we were married for like 13 of those years. But what sometimes seems like a lapse of time is a bigger time, because I think it was about 5 years that my ex just started calling me names. And then more towards the end, he started getting physical. He's what I call the wolf that came out. I wouldn't necessarily say I seen that. I seen definitely traits, and I knew what he was doing, but he was that wolf in the sheep's clothing. That part I saw. But at the time, I kind of just found it funny the way he would get people to argue and then back off, right? And I would watch him poke a bear, and then but they always would turn to me and go as if I had started it. And I'm like, you guys freaking mental? Like, seriously? So I used to kind of like laugh at that kind of personality, really, when he would do stuff like that. But anyways, so again, we know that there has been a black eye of Lily and Jack, that Belinda saw pictures and stuff like that. We don't know what was truly going on in that household, but what we do know is that 2 children disappeared underneath their care. That is fact. There's no taking that back. That is exactly what happened. And at the end of the day, regardless of whatever they want to say that they didn't do or this do, what they did do is neglect to watch those kids and to keep them safe, because they were lying in bed with Meadow while the children were up, according to them, right? That's according to them. That doesn't mean that that's true. That doesn't mean that that's exactly what happened. Again, this is based on timelines that don't make sense, right? But at the end of the day, still, whatever guilt that they have with their internal selves and whatever, that's totally on them. We just want the BS to stop, and we just want answers for Jack and Lily. And that's what we keep fighting for, is just to hear an honest timeline. But you know what, guys? If I had my say about it, that's just not going to happen. And so what I find a little bit strange as well is that, how do you call it a goal? Like, okay, Daniel, if you're listening, okay, dude, please you can take whatever offense you want to this, actually, but you are literally full of yourself, okay? Like, if you don't see it, then you're blinded by your own freaking rose-colored glasses, because you totally pump yourself up and you have this ego. And I don't know if it's due to the math, we'll call it, or just because usually insecure people have traits like this, right? They kind of it's like wearing a mask, and they build themselves. So I don't know if it's the math doing it, or if you were just freaking born like that, but either way, you have this self-boasting about making yourself the hero, and basically other people are a zero. Now, whether you mean to come across like that, dude, it doesn't matter really, because that's the way you come across. That's what's projected, and it's undeniable. And it's undeniable by your own messages and your own wording. Now, you call your mom's timeline the gold standard. Well, I don't exactly see the RCMP calling it a gold standard, considering the fact that they're not using it like that's when the children were last seen, right? The children were last seen on camera. So it can't be that gold of a standard. And not only that, it still doesn't mesh with the timelines that you guys have proposed to us, right? So again, we're not here to play games. This isn't to stroke Daniel's ego, Malaya's ego, Belinda's ego, because she doesn't have one. But you know what I mean? It's not here to inflate anyone. I'm here for the sake of Jack and Lily, right? And Charmaine and Kent and others have joined on the panel in the fight for, and you guys as well in chat, for the fight for answers for justice for Jack and Lily. Now, again, Belinda is the one that it spoke to me near the start, that accepted my friend's request and was willing to share at the time. Now she shared 100. But at the time, she shared 99% of the stuff with me. The only stuff she stayed away with, which came out in an interview, was Cody. People had the wrong Cody Sullivan. They had Cody Lee Sullivan. Somebody had a Prince George and that had been arrested for the Facebook thing. That is untrue. And that still remains untrue to this day. Cody Sullivan, Belinda's son, has never been arrested. Maybe him and Malaya didn't have a great relationship. Belinda already said, about drugs and stuff like that, in his life. I got a freaking niece that has issues with that came on the live and joined us. There's a picture of Daniel from 10 years ago where he's literally sitting on the couch. And I thank you for the person that shared that with me, because I probably overlooked it when I was looking at his pictures. And there's clearly a needle. And this is, okay, granted, this is back in 2010, right? But as he's sitting on the couch, which you can't really see what he's doing, but it looks like, actually, I'll leave it to your imagination for that. But anyways, there's clearly someone that literally has a needle on the right-hand side of that picture, right? So you were using back then, but you kind of been denying it. But Malaya called you out, right? Haley called you out. Wade called you out. Now, I take what Malaya said, because Malaya actually answered that question. So there's going to be a lot of truth to that. And I bet you any money when this whole thing happened, because of Meadow, you cleaned your ass up. And that's why you have to take drug tests now, because you know full well that you have no chance in hell if anything to do with Meadow has anything to do with you being a user, right, of substance abusing and stuff like that. These children deserved, and I'm sorry, but they deserve so much more than to have two lazy parents lying in bed while they're scooting outside, because that's your story, right? That's your story, and you're sticking to this story, the storyline that doesn't make sense. So what bugs me in this picture right here, I think it's a Sharpie. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, by the way. But this picture right here bugs me because look at the bottom of the porch, right? They snuck outside that sliding glass door, the one that I don't think is silent. And many of us that heard it on the news don't think it's silent. I know Belinda thought that she felt it was silent, but that's okay. She has a right to think her way. But when we heard it, I know those doors, now Belinda did say you'd have to be listening to it to probably hear it. I still don't agree with that comment myself, because I feel like you're in a tin shack right there, the little love shack going on. And when you this is something not only did they say that the kids opened it, they also said that the kids closed it, according to Daniel, right? So those things have a suction on them. And then you hear those rollers. That's one of those old type of, let's say, dilapidated type of doors there. It's, they're built from a long time ago, right? So those would be reminiscent of a place that I lived in that had doors. Whereas this one that I live in now, because it's a newer, it's more of the sliding, but I can still hear the rollers, even if my brother-in-law right now was to go outside of that. But you're telling me that, again, these children, that they disobeyed every rule of being supervised, going out, wandering in the woods, all that stuff, right? But then they managed to get out this door, right, and close it. And then they went down to the bottom of the stairs. And this is Friday morning. Remember that they're putting this time frame at. And they're putting it really at 9:40 to 10 o'clock. that this time frame happened. Well, where's the boot prints in all that dirt that's right at the porch, right? You would literally see some boot prints, let alone going up the driveway if they even went that way. So I'm not buying that, because clearly if two children, not only would they make noise, right? And Janie claims that she did hear the children towards her gold standard timeline, after she spoke to her brother, because then her timeline kind of goes wacky, right? All of a sudden the timeline just goes from pinpointing times to, well, I can't really remember, right? And not only that, but these children supposedly came out of that back door, that Janie hears them. And of course, the whole thing changed with Daniel there, because he said that Malaya's seen them now in the morning. I've only ever seen that in one article. Malaya's never said that she saw Lily that morning. Only Daniel has, right? And then he also, on top of that, he's twisting the, oh yeah, I forgot, it's Malaya that said this and that. But it's just that he's expecting us to buy all this stuff. And I'm sorry, but like I said, I wasn't hatched out of a freaking chicken egg yesterday or nothing like that. I've been here on this earth for 56 years, right? People, customer service, hospitality, all that stuff. That's been the forefront of everything I do. I love watching the actions of people, not because I thought to do it, is because it was kind of already there with me growing up, right? And then I just became more in tune with how accurate I was when it came to people trying to bullcrap me, or even just being kind. I would be like, you're a good person, right? Stay away from that person. Don't even be friends. I'm telling you right now, don't be friends with that person, because you can tell right now they're a snake, right? And it always came to fruition, right? So I know I definitely have a knack. Now, does that mean that people get by me sometimes? Absolutely. Some people probably in chat right now going, oh my God, I'm underneath of a different name. Well, I'd actually have to give a shit that you're underneath of a different name. Bottom line was, you were a dirtbag or douche or whatever you want to call yourself, or rude or ignorant. And it's not about your opinion. It's about what you say and how you say it. So if you're going to attack Belinda, you're going to get a boot, right? If you're going to sit there and put weird shit on like Tint's video, and I don't care if you're a member or not, you're going to get a boot. If you're going to be like the Laws family and attacking Kent in a sense, and I gave her a leash. I gave her a long leash. But these stupid things that she was putting up in super chats, and how she was saying, I don't want Kent to have the timeline. Okay, that's just wackadoodle to think that Darren, Kent, and Daniel all mastermind Jack and Lily going missing. Okay? Like, get on the sane train is all I can say about that. It's just ridiculous. Right. And so then, because she sent me messages about Tent, and because I didn't take her what she was believing, then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I woke up next morning to someone blocking me. Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Honestly, do me a favor. If you can't have a sane brain, honestly, I was just humoring that shit. Okay. Daphne's a lot nicer than you, regardless. But anyways, so it's at the end of the day, again, Jack and Lily. But anyways, so in the morning, right? Like I said, this whole after 9 o'clock, her whole timeline kind of falls apart. But who would not? If you're missing a child, we know we said this all the time, and I'm sorry if I'm not going to chat right now. Please hit that like and share for Jack and Lily. If you guys could do that, that means a lot. Oh my God, what did you do with Sunny? Who are you with this lovely hairdo? Yeah, are you guys okay? It's probably because I tossed my hair up. Maybe I put on a little bit more makeup today. Anyways, and I got my beautiful shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts that I have. So I got the trees. I got this in 3 different styles, to be honest with you. But anyways, so I don't know. Appreciate that. So now just quickly, what I was going to say was, in what world and planet do we live on that 2 children are missing and Mama is in that trailer, and at no point do you ask Mama if the children are in that trailer? You know what? I'm sorry, guys, but they cannot take back the fact that they never ever said that at all. That if they try adding that crap in now, that's just them trying to build more on this, gold standard timeline, which we know isn't true. You guys, what would be the first thing you do? You go outside, Jack, Lily, right? A few times. Hey, mom, are the kids in there with you, mom? Natural thing to do, correct? But they've never said it. Again, these are just huge red flags, right? Now, again, Daniel has a few different, I can't even, you guys, this is like a brain ache for me a little bit. And I'm sure it is for you guys as well, because we have this whole, you guys, I can't even explain how much these stories just keep twisting and changing. But because, did you guys hear Daniel the other day when he said that Lily woke him up? Wait a second. Malaya said from 6:18 to 9, and Daniel's trying to say 9:35 instead of 9:40. Fine, fair enough. I'll give you that 5 minutes. All right. So, but do you guys remember hearing that Lily woke Daniel up? But wait a second. Malaya said that you were asleep from 6:18 to 9:40. You're claiming 9:35. Both of you are claiming that you said, hey, did you hear the kids? Did you hear the kids? Right? Both of you all said in the interview are claiming, that damn sliding glass door, the kids just snuck out of, our innocent, precious children that are always outside being supervised by us and would never go in the woods, never do this and never do that. But these people are claiming at 8 o'clock to 8:30 that's when they heard it. This is even in articles, you guys, right? And I get the fact that articles can kind of spin sometimes things a little bit, but then there's just this whole, like, the land of make-believe that they're trying to make us and sell us this stuff, right? Now, the land of make-believe starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, 6, 17, and 18. We can see clearly they were called into school. Absolutely they were, right? Lily has a black eye. You guys have Pro D Day. Wednesday, she gets a black eye, according to Daniel. You think those kids are going to school? Especially Lily? She ain't going to school. They already had CPS on their ass, right? With Jack's black eye. The pictures that Belinda saw. Remember those ones? Right? Kate, no one wants CPS coming to your home. So if they're going to see another black eye, I don't care what Daniel says, or this is my opinion, not his. He can have his all he wants, but this is my opinion. You're not going to be sitting there sending your kid to school if you got a freaking black eye, because CPS, right, Malaya? You're protecting Meadow from CPS. Remember those messages, right? Because you got to do something. You don't want CPS on your ass again and taking Meadow, let alone any of the other children, apparently. But you think that those kids are going to school? So then you have to wonder, right, about that whole thing. Oh, sorry, Lily. Let's just take you into, over to the blood work place, and let's just take you over to, of course, Dollarama. I was thinking, hey, you know what, if she's getting medicine or something for this cough, but let's just go to Acropole. She ain't sick, right? She ain't sick, hardly shit. She got a cough, my ass. She has a black eye, is what I feel like. And you ain't going to be wanting CPS coming down your asses again, because why? You don't want to see your nasty, crusty home, right? Your dilapidated mobile over there. You're not going to want them to see how disgusting it probably is inside, let alone the fact of another incident happened to you. Calling a spade, and anyone can sit there and try to attack me. But Belinda said she was already inside that trailer. And I asked her specifically, is it just as bad on the outside as it is on the inside? And she said, yes, right? So I'm sure it's no freaking haven in there for those children, right? It sounds like, to me personally, my opinion is we got a couple damn right lazy people that don't want to keep a yard taken care of. It's freaking a child death trap out there. And these children, deserve better. They deserve actual parents that are taking care of them properly. How can you expect a 4 and 6-year-old? Well, Jack's just in the kitchen. Lily's bouncing in and out. But wait, Malaya's never said that. But let me change my story again. Malaya, now Daniel's claiming that Malaya's seen Lily that morning. Now, by all accounts, I agreed. I thought definitely there's no way this child is going in as a mother 3 times, and now he says 2, but whatever. He said a few times. A few times means 3, but okay, 2 times. And you're telling me that Malaya was so freaking out of it? Right. Unless there was something else going on, maybe math. I don't know. Right. I don't know for a fact if Malaya does or doesn't do any sort of substance. Right. Usually people are so willing to blame others and not sit there and talk about themselves, but I don't know that. But either or, you got 2 people claiming to lie in bed, claiming all this different story, me telling, you telling, Lily woke me up. No, he was sound asleep to this time, to this time. Then you have Daniel saying that Malaya gets up, that she sneaks back into bed. Oops, wait, that story didn't make sense, and then you have 8 o'clock to 8:30, okay, out of their mouths, right? Even in the article. Well, an article says, within a few minutes, Daniel says, I was up, because I didn't hear the kids. Within a few minutes. That's whole different shit than 20 minutes. Okay. And then in another article, it says 20 minutes. So let's just take their 20-minute BS timeline. My bad, I hit my mic. And then sit there and take that 20 minutes and apply it to 8:30 to 8:50, because that's exactly your guys' own words out of your mouth. Right? So then, somehow we miraculously teleport in time and we get to 9:40 and 10:01. And that becomes this timeline of when all of a sudden, wait, they can't even make this shit up, right? Because they've already said the last time that they were heard and seen by Daniel, heard from Malaya, was in the next room. So, okay, so I'm thinking, well, they're just bullshitting and giving us, like this time. But why would they even do that? Why? Because they're brainiacs, obviously, right? They thought this through and through, in my opinion. Obviously, their whole gold standard timeline, awesome, amazing. Gold star. You deserve 5 of those for BS, to be honest with you. You guys can't even put a timeline together. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous. All this bullshit. That's how I see this case, Daniel. Malaya, Janie, Darren. Most of you, all you keep hearing about is math and how Haley came on. But anyways, no, hold on. Let's not sidetrack. We're talking about this morning still, right? Janie, she gets a phone call at 8:48 from her brother. I mean, don't get me wrong. She's on Facebook. She's out there talking to her brother on Facebook, whatever, 6 o'clock. She's feeding those freaking chickens and stuff like that at 7 o'clock, blah, 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 blah. 8:48, her brother calls, right? There's the phone shot right there on the interview. And then again, remember, she stays in her cabin, right? For 10 minutes approximately, as Daniel Malaya, they don't go over to her trailer, remember, because that's not important. The kids, no one would ever think that you would go over to grandma, grandma, great grandma there, precious grandma with no pictures. Nobody would ever think to go over to grandma's to see if the children were there. No, but Janie says, you know what? I waited 10 solid minutes. 10 solid minutes listening to Daniel, caca, Jack, caca, right? Ain't happening. What planet? Her planet? Her made-up planet? That's how I see this. Crock of crap, Janie. No grandma's sitting in their freaking trailer with a dog that freaking barks for 10 ass minutes before they come out and then go, oh, my God, Malaya, however did you go there with Meadow and be holding Meadow in the arm right in front of my trailer and some magical vehicle came out, right? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. So my thing for you guys is, and this is my opinion, well, 1 liar, 2 liar, 3 liar, how many more liar? Because that's how I see this. Because honestly, this is a freaking game that you guys are playing to me. This is like a wicked game with 2 children of Jack and Lily. And when you guys try all to sell your bullshit to the public, Daniel, honestly, Daniel, you need to stop. Honestly, you look like a little fucking Jack in the Box popping in, popping out of chats and stuff like that. Now, just like you have your opinion, Daniel, or this big, long, spread out thoughts, I have mine as well. Okay? There's nothing that you could sell me. Well, hold on. Cheesecake? KFC? Options. We got options, Daniel. But there's nobody that's stupid enough to believe in this timeline that is so far out of the element of anything, to be honest, of truth, right? How do you get from 8 o'clock to 8:30? How do you keep changing a story? How do you come out and say that Malaya, right? That Malaya was just standing there on her phone looking guilty as crap by Janie. Guilty, again, the magic freaking carpet ride, the magic, freaking beam me up Scotty shit going on. Didn't happen. Okay, there was no freaking Tesla or a freaking Back to the Future vehicle that your dog wouldn't have heard, or you, if Malaya in your guys' own time window made sense. Okay. Now, Darren said he put Malaya, like I said, that's Darren listening to Daniel. Whatever conjuring up those people have done, right? They twisted it. They fucked up the timeline the minute they inserted Darren into this whole thing, who couldn't tell a timeline. But why? Why did that happen? Because it's the shit that he's listening to from Janie and Daniel that's going on. And next thing you know, it's like, okay, well, it sounds better. I think if she's at the end of the driveway, and oh my God, oh wait, 6, that was 6 o'clock. No, wait, that was 8. No, Janie corrected me and it was after 9 o'clock. But okay, let's put her at potholes and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, I just want to say this, Janie, myself. Sorry if you feel like I'm being harsh on you. I don't feel badly whatsoever, to be honest with you, because this is about Jack and Lily, and you guys are making an absolute freaking ass mockery of this case. And I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for any of you guys. Okay? Malaya, you hear that too? Don't feel sorry for you either. Okay? You guys are the ones that created this bullshit. All of it. There's the pool. Okay? Janie never said anything ever, Janie, about a pool. About a pool, Janie. But you know this, right, Janie? You never said nothing to nobody about a pool. But there's that beautiful pool underneath that beautiful dilapidated bench right there, right? Right there, Janie. I would like to see an excavator enter that, a cadaver dog enter that area, to be honest with you. Because you know what? Don't forget, nighttime, Janie, she's just raking it, right? Right? Just raking that freaking pool, Janie. Because everybody does that at nighttime. That they just pull out that rake and they just make this beautiful thing for that pool. I think I would have put some sod down or something. But no, that's just no one. You told nobody. You told Belinda that you heard Malaya say shush to the children that morning. Oh, guess what? Janie probably didn't feel comfortable lying to it. Probably forgot. They probably added that bullshit in there as well. And then all of a sudden, maybe she, retracts some of it because there's just too much bullshit going on. Right? Because then she retracts it. I didn't say it, but Belinda, she has ears. Belinda, you got ears, correct? Right? I'm sure they're not closed, as you told her that you were doing potholes, right? So anyways, this whole timeline, I could kick your ass every day to Sunday on how shitty your timeline doesn't make sense. And there's so many holes in it, it's not even funny. And I'm almost embarrassed for you, little Jack and Box whack-a-moler that's going in and out of these rooms trying to gain favors. You are embarrassing as a human. I'm sorry, but you are. You're literally a person, and Malaya, where these 2 children went missing. And all you're doing is trying to sell your bullshit to the public, right? These people, they're smart, right? At first, they were looking at this whole hidden theory and all that stuff. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. So Michelle has him on the reserve. Nothing of this could have fit in the timeline. But okay, go ahead. Keep trying to sell us that crap. I'm telling you right now that these children, to me, in my opinion, let's go back to the math. Let's go back to Haley bringing that to all our attention. Let's go back to Malaya saying that. Let's go back to my niece telling me about when it's injected, how they become grandiose and they can't even remember basically their own shit that they're saying. And they got all these freaking turns in their story. No. You are amazing, Danielle, for getting them to look at that blanket because of you. You are astronomical. You were just amazing. How did you not solve your own darn case? Seriously. How did you not solve it, right? I mean, right? This gold standard timeline, they didn't use it, right? This gold standard timeline. Are you freaking kidding me, right? But anyways, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm probably going off on my shit again, stuff like that. But the spreadsheet, no. So that spreadsheet that was going on, that was Law's family spreadsheet and stuff like that. I wasn't like, because I had it all in my head. That was their own timesheet. I like to do my own stuff. I've just been holding back from doing it because at what point do I say that Daniel says he's coming out of the woods when, Malaya's using the phone, right? Actually, you know what? Let's just go over. I want to play something again. Well, yeah, I do want to play something again. Let me just go to my own. One of these days, Daniel's going to be like, oh, Sonny, I blocked you finally. Oh my God. Please. You know what? Everyone has their own truth, right? I have mine. I have my feelings, and I cannot stand BS. Okay. I have a hard time, just like Charmaine had a hard time biting her tongue the other day, right? I was just trying to be very respectful of what he wanted to put out there, knowing full well he was using this channel to put out that information. And all I saw was an opportunity for someone to catch them in more lies than what they're already doing, or inconsistencies. But it was kind of like a win-win for me. He got to do what he got to do. I got to do what I got to do. Oh, Sonny. Oh, Sonny, why do you make tribute videos? Oh, Kent, why do you make all these beautiful signs for Jack and Lily that never get thank yous from any of them? Oh, Sonny. Oh, Charmaine, why would you ever build a beautiful buddy bench and expect a thank you? Well, hold on. Didn't you get one? Did you get one? Oh, well, that was when I was telling Malaya about it. And then she's like, thank you. Anyways, it's appreciated by Jack and Lily and everyone else that cares about Jack and Lily. I'll tell you that much. Okay, I do want to play this part again. Oh, Daniel. Oh, Daniel. I just got to go back up in my things here. Wait, where's that timeline? I sent it to myself. I think it's this one. Okay, now remember, this is a recording, okay? Okay. Let's go back to this. Okay. Ba-bing.
Search teams going to the Gairloch locations while we try and locate a GSAR commander.
It has been 2.5 months since that search began for 2 young children who disappeared in rural Nova Scotia, and there is still no trace of them. 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing from their home by their mother and stepfather. A massive search ensued.
A lot of area to cover. We're out in the sticks here. You're very familiar.
Crews scoured dense woods for 10 days. They found what they believed to be a child's boot print and a piece of a blanket, but nothing else. At least, not that the police will say publicly. It's a mystery that is gripping the country and beyond.
I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is always wanting to know like what happened.
Now, for the first time, we're hearing from the children's step-grandmother, who lives on the property where the children went missing and who was there that day.
My bedroom is right there. I heard the kids. After that, I heard nothing. The next thing I know, or the next thing I heard, is I heard Daniel yelling.
Her son, Daniel, the children's stepfather, is the subject of murderous accusations.
Well, a lot of speculation is you killed the kids. Let's come out and say it straight as it is.
His mother is showing us around their property to dispel rumors as conspiracy theories run wild online, with TikTok and YouTube videos garnering millions of views.
These are everybody's grandchildren. They're not just mine now. It does seem like the whole world cares.
Kayla Hansel is the CBC's national reporter from the Maritime Provinces. She's done a series of in-depth interviews on the case. Good morning.
Good morning, Megan.
Kayla, first of all, what can you tell us about where this happened? Set the scene for us.
So the children were reported missing from a mobile home in Lansdowne Station where they were living with their mother and stepfather. There's an RV parked next to it, and that's where the children's step-grandmother lives. There are some toys in the yard, a tipped-over red wagon in the front, a handmade wooden swing set in the back. And this is an extremely rural part of the province in Pictou County, around 140 kilometers northeast of Halifax. And I can tell you, I've been a reporter in Nova Scotia for 16 years now, so you can imagine I've been to a lot of small communities, and I don't think I've seen anything quite this rural. There are no close neighbors, there are not many neighbors at all, and the home is surrounded by very dense woods.
Now, for people who have not been following this closely, can you remind us how this all started? It was on May 2nd, right?
That's right. It's the morning of Friday, May 2nd, so exactly 11 weeks ago today. And most of the information that we have about those first hours comes from the children's stepfather, Daniel Martell. I spoke with him in a recorded interview for nearly an hour, and he says he and the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, were in bed with their other child, a baby, and they were sort of dozing in and out of sleep. And Lily and Jack were playing in the kitchen, but Lily came into the bedroom multiple times and woke him up. And here's what he says happened next.
And then about 20 minutes passed, and then when I woke up, Malaya was right beside me. She was still asleep. And I said, I don't hear Lily and Jack. So I jumped straight up out of bed. Silence is never a good thing when you have kids, because you know they're getting into something. And then we noticed the boots were gone. We went outside, made our way into the backyard. We didn't see them anywhere. And Malaya said, should I call 911? And I said, well, just wait 1 second.
That's three versions to that story right there. At first it was, wait, maybe he just didn't feel comfortable when he said, well, what the fuck do you think? I wonder if he didn't feel comfortable saying that. Right? Anyways, different things happened there. He immediately got in his vehicle. She immediately called 911. Now it's this whole, right? Well, I asked Daniel, should I call 911? And he's like, well, what the fuck? Now he's like, well, just wait a second. Let me just run up for 30 seconds, that little fort up there. And then when he comes down, all of a sudden, Malaya's just on the phone, miraculously, right? Again, he placed himself with Malaya coming out of the home. There's not this freaking Malaya got out of bed and did all this shit while he was sleeping. Because remember, he was barely asleep, right? So if he's barely asleep, how did he not hear the children? If he's barely, so he says that in his polygraph interview. It's not like I was at a deep sleep. Malaya says 6:18 and 9:40, out like a log. Right now, remember, he recants on this and says, wait, hold on. Maybe I didn't say, and about, are they the kids? I don't hear anything. Right? What about that within a few minutes? And then it changes to 20 minutes. But thing was, is that it was 8 o'clock to 8:30. when you all said this, right? So you guys just sat there and went, this is what happens to me personally when you got three people that try to give a gist of a fake timeline and then they mess it the fuck up, is what they do. Because I don't see this myself, and I could be totally wrong, but I don't see this perhaps as something planned, as more of an accident. And the reason why I would think it's more of an accident, because still the most likely scenario to me in my brain is that Malaya says, yes, Daniel was doing math, right? Now, we got all this weird shit going on the night before, freaking raking for pools and freaking posts and, you know, all that shit going on. Got this weird stuff. Now, I agree that the children got home, you know, and stuff like that. Janie probably seen the kids outside at this point, blah, 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 right? Up until, you know, then we hear about the lights flickering off and on at 12 o'clock, that he goes to bed at, I think, 11:30 and wakes up to go pee or something like that. And then 12 o'clock, he flicks the lights on or something like that. I'd have to go back and read it verbatim on this shit. But anyways, right? But it's like listening to three people that were so clueless on their timeline. And of course, as time goes on, right? Janie's interview was just recently, you know, that all of a sudden you got to make it fit. You know, you got to make the shit fit. It's what you got to do, right? And then all of a sudden you try to include Malaya in this whole freaking put the kids in a vehicle and all that. But going back to what I was saying here is that, so we got someone allegedly by Malaya, which I believe myself, that's on math, right? Haley comes on, hidden in the fog Susans, to talk about that. That was the main thing that she wanted to say, right? Was about that stuff. Okay, we're talking about, from Malaya's own words, she said he was very controlling to the point that he told me what to wear, right? Obviously, there was the U-Haul situation when she was going to leave, but then Daniel talked her into staying again, right? The one thing I want to say, side note, the one thing I want to say about all this is you're so devastated that Malaya left your ass. And then you wonder why. And then you turn around and you bash her in messages. And then you come back out to say, you guys, Malaya, you know, she might do something to meddle with her fragile state that she's in, you know, mental health issues going on. Shit, dude. She got mental health issues. I'm sure half of it is probably because of you and all the shit that you put her down about, being basically that she didn't do nothing. She just sat on her phone all day. You took care of Lily and Jack. You know, I mean, God, like, I don't understand how we're not bowing down to you right now, to be honest with you, for all the stuff that you did. But that's what I'm talking about. Only someone with a, you know, to me, with a warped brain is thinking about it like that. So I'm in shock because Malaya left me. No shocker there, to be honest. But hey, I'm just going to kind of bash her. Now you're saying that you're not going to bash her. I mean, good on you now that you're not going to bash her, but the damage is done. You have totally bashed her, right? And for whatever reason, there's this things that she's not saying. You know, of course, there's things that she's not saying. So she's basically saying that you are a controlling abuser, right? But yet she's still kind of like, well, you know, I can't see Daniel harming the kids and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Can't help but wonder, with all this math talk and stuff like that, you know, let's talk about Thursday, Friday night. Let's talk about this weird freaking pool being built, you know, raked up and stuff like that. You know, let's talk about 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, did you turn on the light and something happened to the kids? You know, I don't know. This is my opinion. Were they fed? rugs? Were they given rugs? Were they a pain in the ass? You know, were they a pain in your guys' ass? Or was it a pain in your ass? And because Malaya knows that if any of this, like that she's still part of this all, and that not only is she protecting her own ass, because you guys will lose Meadow in a hop, skip, and a jump, and not only will you lose Meadow, you'll lose your freedom on top of that. And I feel like Malaya blames Daniel for what has happened, but because she knows that she's part of this all, she sat there, to me, in my opinion, and lied when she said she heard the kids. Because why? Because I think that that whole timeline is a crock of shit from the start to the finish. The children were called in the morning. That's how I see this myself. It's my opinion, based on all your guys' own words and information. That's where my interpretation is coming from on this, right? So I think that seems like the rugs seems to be a big issue here, right? Or were the children just a pain in the ass, right? Were you mad at Malaya? Did you do something, Daniel? Did you not do something, right? Proclaim all this innocence. But you know what? Your guys' timeline is so full of shit and so full of bullet holes. There's no gold standard timeline about this. If it was such a gold standard timeline, you think that the police then would have believed Janie when she said that she heard the kids and stuff like that? Do you think that Janie would have come out 10 minutes after, that the dog would have barked? Think that a car would have driven up and the dog wouldn't have heard it, or Janie wouldn't have heard it? You think that by chance you and Malaya would have went to Janie's trailer and asked if the kids were there? Nope. You know, but you immediately called 911 for Malaya. You immediately hopped in your truck. Wait, that was after, because I'm pretty sure it was up for 30 seconds. Then all of a sudden, I'm pretty sure it went from up for 30 seconds, went and checked the, what are they called? Cabins and stuff like that. Wait, what? What? Oh, wait, hold on the fort. Malaya. Now you believe that Malaya. Get ready for this one. Heard it on Drunk Turkey Show first, right? Now we heard that you don't believe that Malaya took those two shirts, the white and the blue one, to frame you, to plant them against you, according to you, because she wanted a piece of you. She wanted some remembrance by taking those two shirts that you wore out in the woods, day 1 and day 2 of the search. But yeah, okay. So you honestly believe that Malaya sat there and was like, I gotta have these to sniff. Oh, Danielle, I miss you so much. Oh my God, dude. You probably jizz when I say your name every time. But here, I'll take a t-shirt of yours, Daniel. Ah, it smells so good. How Malaya just misses you. Fucking odor toilet shit. That's what that is. But anyways, we'll listen a little bit more. Okay.
I ran up in the woods to the kids. They have cabins up in the woods. It's about, I don't know, 100 feet up in the woods. Ran up there, ran right back down, so which only took me like 30 seconds. And
30 seconds.
I was screaming for Lily and Jack, you know, all the way out when I was running up to the cabins. And my mother heard me, so she came out and said, you know, what's going on? And I said, you know, Lily and Jack are missing.
And so the RCMP says it was around 10 a.m. when they received the 911 call.
Right.
They won't say exactly.
No, wait a second here. You stop that, Daniel. My mother said, what's going on? And you said, guess what? Jack and Lily are missing, right? No. You said your dumb ass believed it when Malaya said that they were in the woods. Your mom said, first thing I thought to do was go in the woods, right? After the 10 minutes of waiting to listen to you holler, Lily, caca, Jack, caca. Right, so you told your mom. What about the fact that your mom came out and only saw Malaya there, and she said what happened to the kids? right? Remember that? You were up in the woods looking at cabins and shit. So what do you mean you told your mom? Remember, your mom came out, saw Malaya, and was like, what happened to the kids? What did you actually, you guys even said at some point when Darren was included, what did you do to the kids? Guilty, right? Make shit make sense. Can't do it. Can't buy it. Can't sell it. Couldn't sell it to me if you tried. You know, I'm just, you know what? It's like you entertain these people for a period of time. And then after a while, what more bullshit could we possibly keep hearing is how I feel about this. What, you're going to drop something new again about some more added to the timeline shit after 3 months and stuff like that? Or maybe you guys should have just told the truth in the first place. But maybe if you did tell the truth, well, you know that your ass of freedom wouldn't be there anymore. And Meadow, bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Right? Is it just one big cover-up? Because that's where I'm standing, my personal thoughts on this one. One big lying cover-up to cover your own asses because Jack and Lily just didn't vamoose and get abducted or be in those woods. Is there a chance still? Yeah, a hope in hell and a Mary and a hallelujah, you know, that a miracle like that happens. But it's the lying, right? If you guys were telling the truth right from the start, you know, people would be on your side, but they're not. Why? Because they can't make your timeline match anything because it just doesn't match with anything. Lies, lies, lies. When nobody lies when 2 children are missing and you absolutely care. A mother doesn't hide, you know, behind freaking her friend and stuff like that and hide from the public. And then these idiots believe in them and sit there and speak out for them. Because why? Because you could never picture these people having anything to do with it, you know? But really, we're not family. We're not Malaya's friend. We're the public that's watching this atrocity unfold with Jack and Lily. And it's disgusting. You should be embarrassed. You should be humiliated, in my opinion, by what the heck you're doing. Honestly, it's a joke. You know it's a joke. You know it's a joke. But I know, actually, maybe you don't. Because that would mean you would have to think reasonably instead of delusionally. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly what time.
Now, we just heard Martell mentioning his mother. What have we learned from her?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, she was there the day Lily and Jack went missing. She's never spoken publicly until this interview with my colleague. Her name is Janie Mackenzie, and she had basically given Martell and his young family the mobile home and was living in the RV parked next to the house. She says she very much thought of Lily and Jack as her grandchildren, says they called her Granny, and have been part of her family for 2 years. She describes them as 2 very different children.
Jack's the one that if he didn't want to do something, he didn't do it. And he was a curious boy. He stayed out here, and that's all he did was look for bugs and worms. And Lily, she was always running around, screaming and hollering. And I observed those kids for 2 years. They were part of my life for 2 years.
What does Janie say about what happened that day?
Well, she says that morning her brother called her at 8:48 local time. She has the timestamp on her phone. She says she spoke with him and then went back to bed. But then she heard her dog barking and she heard Lily and Jack. She didn't see them, but says she heard them. And she says it was around 10 minutes after that call with her brother, so around 9 a.m. now, that she heard her son yelling for.
Yeah, right. Right, Janie. Right. They never once went to your trailer. You great grandmother, you. You know, when I say the apple doesn't fall from the tree, I meant that, to be honest with you. But again, you know, it's almost like honestly embarrassing for me to even remotely do up a timeline just because it's so full of BS and lies, right? You know, all this grandiose behavior of blanket. Oh my God. Anyways, let's go. You know what? You guys can listen to this if you want again. I'll drop the link for the clip on this one. Not one picture. Not one picture. It's an amazing picture of that pool. Oh, wait. You guys see that little blue tub? That's the makings of that pool right there. Looks like a blue tub to me. You know? I don't know why, but you just picture it nighttime. I'm just gonna start raking for a pool. I'm not gonna tell anybody about it, right? I'm not gonna mention it to nobody, but great pool. I know. And the snow shovel. Oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Okay. But we'll just watch this in action. I'll put it up on faster speed though. Stop screen. Share screen. Yeah. All right. Let's go through this again. Hold on. We'll put on captions, I suppose. We'll make it a little bit faster, I suppose. We'll do 1.25. It's only 8 minutes and 38 seconds, but come on. Let's go with
that Jack and Lily would have.
That Jack and Lily came out of.
Wait. Remember, they closed it too. Yep. Remember, Daniel was barely awake.
So
or barely
asleep, the morning of May 2nd. Take me through what happened.
Okay, I was up at 6 o'clock, sat in there and had my tea. And then on Facebook, 7 o'clock, I get up, come over here.
I will, Jackie, after.
Fed my chickens. My brother, Ron, called me at 8:48 and asked me if I wanted to go to town with him. And I said, no. I said, I'm staying home. I said, I'm going back to bed. Okay, I went and I laid down. Next thing you know, my dog started barking and the kids were out in the yard. Now you can see there's 2 swings where the kids play. My bedroom is right there. I heard the kids. This is where the kids' swings are. This is where they always played.
And so that's where
I heard them. And I can hear everything in that trailer. If 2 kids get out of a fence, and Jack and Lily are all the time yelling, especially Lily, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go, Jackie. It's all I hear out here. When the kids get out of the fence and come out through here, I would have heard them yelling, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go. I didn't hear anything. The next thing I heard is I heard Daniel yelling. He was yelling for Jack and Lily. I didn't get up because I thought he was yelling for Jack and Lily in the house. So the next thing you know, came out of the trailer after I heard Daniel, about, I'd say, 10 minutes after I heard him, I come out of the trailer. I opened up the door.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right? So, right, 10 minutes. That's right. 10 minutes after you heard your son beckoning for Jack and Lily, that you come out of there. Now, there was something that she said there too, that, right? All the time I hear Jackie, come on, Jackie, come on, Jackie, come on, Jackie. But I didn't hear that. Fancy that you didn't hear that. So miraculously, right? Those children were playing near the swing set or on the swing set, whichever they were doing, right? Because she heard them. Didn't see them, heard them. And all of a sudden she doesn't hear them anymore. Come on, Jackie. Because I always hear them. Come on, Jackie. Come on, Jackie. Well, then doesn't the timeline kind of stop there? Right? Now, this is where the timeline, of course, gets into the whole, 10 minutes, first of all. Come on. Right? But this is when it gets to Malaya's part. So she doesn't hear him. One of the comments, this one gets me every single time, guys, when she said, when someone literally asked her in that Facebook, I desert you, darling, but thank you for becoming a new member. Thanks for the Rickroll. So yeah, but anyways, now we're going to get into the part where, I was standing here and Malaya was standing there with Meadow in her arm, right? And again, it's 30 seconds. This is where, we'll listen to that part, actually. We'll go to that part.
Standing here, Malaya was standing right here.
Right there.
With Meadow on her hip.
Yep.
And I come out
Mm-hmm.
and I said, what's up? She said, Jack and Lily are missing.
So I said, Malaya, what's up? Jack and Lily are missing. Daniel says, I tell my mom the children are missing, right? Now, don't forget, she doesn't hear Jackie boy, Jackie boy, Jackie boy. Now, let's insert mystic car vehicle that somehow eludes the dog, eludes Janie's ears, eludes Daniel, the 30 seconds that he's up there. In comes this mystical car. And she looks guilty, as if her hand was caught in a cookie jar. So don't forget, Daniel, did you tell your mother that the children are missing? Because that's what you said. But, I mean, how many inconsistencies can you possibly keep having, to be honest? It's embarrassing past like 20, doesn't it? Just does. But anyways, right? So this is when the mystical car comes into it. This is when this whole concoction of the children being hidden and taken away comes into it. Now remember, right? Darren says out of their mouths, according to Darren, that it's at the end of the driveway. That's where she sees Malaya. Not right in front of the trailer, but at the end of the driveway, right? Right. That's what happens when you start repeating shit and all that stuff. And again, you know, to me, that just reminds me of somebody setting the stage for how these hidden children could have happened. That's all I see in this is where can we possibly insert? Now, remember, after the 8:48 call, her memory kind of goes. So now you kind of got to insert the time of the 9:40, right? Right, Janie? About the 9:40 to 10:01 time frame. Because remember, Daniel, he said, it's not like he was sleeping. So really? So if you're not like you're really in a deep sleep or nothing, you didn't hear the kids playing outside? You didn't hear the door open up and close? You know, but miraculously, you know, you said you were barely sleeping, so you heard Jack in the kitchen and Lily coming into the room 3 times in 1 minute. It's about Malaya, you know, now seeing them. Malaya's never said that. Malaya has never said that in any of her words. Only out of her own mouth, seen, right? Or heard. Sorry, my bad. I got to retract that, right? It's you're the one all of a sudden now that you're changing the story up again to that Malaya seen them, I guess, and heard them as well. But again, so you with your own words said, first of all, that Lily woke you up. So how did Lily wake you up? How did Lily not wake up Malaya? Right? I don't know. You know what? Bottom line is, to me, it's just a bold-faced bunch of lies anyway. So, right? It's just you using your own words against you guys. That's it. Using your own darn words against you guys. Right? Because you're the one saying them. I didn't hold you down like you did with Malaya whenever she tried to call her mother to leave. I'm not the one that was holding you down, Daniel, forcing you to say any of these words. I'm not the one that's making a fool out of myself, popping in out of freaking chat rooms all day long trying to sell your BS. That's you. That's on you. The children are missing on your guys' dime. And then this whole cockamamie crap, right? But okay. All right, because don't forget, it's crap after crap, right? 10 minutes that Janie waits after she hears you bellowing their names. You guys don't go over to the trailer and ask her, hey, Mom, is Jack and Lily in there? You mean my precious grandchildren that I've known for 2 years? No, Janie. Danielle.
I said, how long? She said,
long?
About 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes.
I closed the door, got my boots on.
Yep.
Came out here, ran up in the woods. Just right up here. The kids have a little fort that they made out of sticks and fir branches. And that's where they go. You can see them and hear them. We went for walks in the woods. I had to practically carry Jack through the woods because there was no way that he was walking through all that tree falls and bushes. Nope. I did this whole area. There's an old road up back. When I got up to the top of the hill, I met Daniel. And I said to him, I said, did you find them? He said, no. He said, you coming with me? I said, no. I said, I'm going to search this area. Because when she told me the kids were missing, you automatically think they went into the woods. That was my first instinct.
Janie.
So I went up and I did this whole area, this whole wooded area.
Right? When I asked if the kids were missing, I mean, I automatically thought to go up in the woods, right? Kind of takes away from the rest of it there again, doesn't it? This whole that my dumbass believed Malaya when she said that the children were in the woods, you know, kind of takes away from the fact that you told your mother that the kids are missing. Wait. When Janie came out of the trailer, it was Malaya that said that, right? Because you were up in the woods, you know? And then your mom, she says she leaves her phone, you know, behind. You say you leave your phone on the end table. Yeah, I bet you guys did, to be honest with you. Bet you guys did, in my opinion, as you're hatching up this plan, right? I mean, most people, I would think, in this day and age are kind of, no, they're still stupid. All the time, digital data will get you guys on that stuff. But I bet you did. But you guys left your phones there, right? Right, Janie? When you look at your phone, and it doesn't look like you left your phone there to me, but, you know, but just by the times that are on that phone. But like I said, this is all just inconsistent. So again, she comes out of the trailer, sees Malaya. What happened to the kids with Meadow in the arm, right? There's no at any point. There's not one time at any point, because Daniel, he was mostly awake. He wasn't in a deep sleep. So you don't think he would have heard the kids playing in the backyard or scooting out? You don't think he would have heard that, considering the bedroom is still right there? And you think you're honestly not going to hear these children, you know, make up these different versions of events for when Malaya was on the phone, when she wasn't on the phone. Oh, wait, just a second, Malaya. Oh, let me just run up into the woods before you make that 911 call and stuff like that. Oh, wait, the 20-minute time frame has to be 9:40, right? Because Malaya said the last time the children were seen was 9:40. If that's in her own words herself. Those are messages, right? So you guys have to use this timeline of 9:40. You can't really backtrack besides try to add to the bullshit, right? Has there ever been an explanation out of them, right, about this whole 8 to 8:30, crap going on and stuff like that? Anyways, so you guys just see that this is inconsistent. So there's no golden time or golden standard timeline here. That's Daniel saying it's a gold standard timeline. Kind of like Daniel saying that the pink blanket, you know what, if it wasn't for him, they would have never have ever checked that pink blanket. But I'm the one. And by the way, don't forget, Malaya didn't plant those 2 shirts against me. If now you find them with the children, it's the fact that Malaya has them. Just read the Oda shit toilet smell that comes from those shirts every time she thinks of you, Daniel. I can just picture that now, right? But anyways, bottom line is they've created their own muck. We didn't create their muck. They created their own muck by their own inconsistencies. And that, what does that tell you? What does this all tell you? Right? That means that you don't believe any word of what any of them have said, because it's BS, right? But at this point, right, this is when Malaya, obviously some invisible car shows up. She puts these 2 kids, Jack and Lily, in this car. And guess what? For over 3 months now, nobody has ever turned on them or claimed that $150,000, because they're secretly hidden on the Shub, whatever you want to call it, reserve. Yep, because that's Michelle. Might as well just post about it. Put on a Facebook post. I got the children, right? It's just like, there's nowhere, you guys, about these children being hidden that could have been possible. That, like, they're the ones that are trying to insinuate that Malaya put these children into a vehicle during this miraculous 10-minute timeline. That's not really 10 minutes, because remember, 20 minutes, Kaka, Jack, Kaka, Lily, right? Didn't happen.
You're right up to the top of the dirt road, came back down here, and came back down the side of the road, came back down here, and came back up the same spot. I went back into the house. By the time the cops were here, I don't know exactly what time. I didn't take my phone. The cops were here.
You did take the phone.
There was a bench sitting here, or a sawhorse. It's over there. Was sitting here. I was sitting on it, bawling my eyes out. I was crying because I blame myself for not getting up that morning to see the kids. Because if I would have got up, this would have never happened. Okay? That's why I was crying.
We've heard a lot about the patio door.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's go see that.
Sure.
So this is the patio
This is the patio door.
That Jack and Lily would have.
That Jack and Lily came out of.
And so tell us why we've heard about the patio door.
Because everybody's saying on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok that the patio door makes a noise, and why they didn't hear the door open. The bedroom is back there. Okay.
That far window.
The last window is the bedroom.
And so they would have come out this door.
They would have come out this
that
door
morning.
Yes.
And then they went and played on the.
Not even gonna lie. The way she just said that, because everyone on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, everyone's, I don't watch that many things, to be honest with you. I don't even barely watch TikTok. But hey, Janie, you guys are really keeping track of this, aren't you? You guys are really following this case, Well, deflection. To me, absolutely. Like I said, you can't sit there and try to contrive this hidden thing based upon a timeline that's full of inconsistencies, whatever you want to call them, mistruths, lies, inconsistencies, BS, crap, shit, whatever you want to call it. There's nothing you can do to create a timeline of Malaya putting these children into a vehicle, and that she masterminded this plan to hide Jack and Lily from CPS, and was going to put them somewhere, and then at some point they'll emerge years later, right, Darren? Years later, 20 years later, who knows, right? And then all of a sudden she's just going to stay behind and be like, oh my God, I was caught. Whatever am I going to do? Right? No, there's a reason why Malaya left. I think that she knows exactly what happened. She left that day. Haley comes out, talks about the math and stuff like that. I think Malaya knows exactly what happened to these children, in my personal opinion. Same with Daniel. Same with Janie. And again, nobody lies about children when they're missing legitly. It just doesn't happen unless they're, whoops, my bad, not used to this still. Unless you're lying, right? Unless you're creating a timeline, creating a scripted events. But the thing is that they couldn't hold your stories down, right? They legit could not hold this story down. And it's just so absurd to even think that in their own words and timeline that Malaya could have put these children in a vehicle. So, and I'm just going to be straight up myself. I absolutely do not believe these children are alive anywhere. I believe that they're in water or they're buried, in my personal opinion. I think that that's really horrific that I would even think that. But you know what? Again, just follow trajectory of cases like this. It's the lying. I mean, all you have to do is just be found that you guys are lying, right? Or mistruths and stuff like that. What, right? Daniel said all the questions in his polygraph were all straight up about, did you kill Lily and Jack? Did you have something to do with, Lily? There was nothing about missing, right? But I see it, and I think a lot of you guys do as well. I still think myself that Daniel can believe all he wants, that the RCMP are his friends and that they give him all these updates and stuff like that. I think he's being played for an absolute idiot. I think he's absolutely being played. And I think that his narcissistic tendencies can't understand that. And from the outside looking in, the ridiculousness of his words and these grandiose comments are just that. When somebody is so blinded by their own crap, right? They truly believe that the RCMP are somewhat their best buddies, their friends. No. They're giving you a noose. That's what they're doing. And you're doing a great job at giving them a lot of stuff, to be honest, in my personal opinion. That's how I see this. Yeah? Yeah. That's how I see this. This is a game. You guys are playing this game to me. It's a wicked game around two children.
The swing set.
Yes.
And that's when you heard them.
That's when I heard them. Right here in this area here. I plan on putting a pool up this year for the kids.
The pool.
You need level ground for a pool.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. I was leveling out the ground to set up the pool.
And this is the Thursday.
This is Thursday.
Right.
Friday, all the investigators, search and rescue and everything. Right around here was where they found the only footprint.
This is where the boot.
This is where I was raking that night. That's where the boot print was found, in the mud where I was raking.
I thought there was two boot prints.
There was supposed to be a footprint found away up on the pipeline.
Right.
Again, the only footprint that was found. When did that footprint got there, to be honest with you? You know, as I see it personally, that footprints, because Daniel makes it said too, but she's saying footprint, right? You know, in the mud where I was raking here, you know, magically that there was just that one footprint. So it's kind of one of those things. So you're raking that. Then there's this magical one footprint. Whatever. Let's just even call it two. Let's just, for the sake of argument, call it two. So Jack and Lily, you know, whenever Jack and Lily get out, come on, Jackie boy. Come on, Jackie boy. Let's go, Jackie boy. Right? And this magical footprint, we'll say a set, you know, ends up in this area. But yet there's no other footprints in that dirt that's right off of the porch. You know, there's no other footprints beyond that besides just that magical pair. Because you know what, guys? This is exactly, you know, this is what I would call planted. To me, in my personal opinion, that those were planted there to make it seem like that, you know what? Malaya put them in a vehicle. And you know what? That's the end of the story. They'll never be found. And they're not going to be able to prove that either, right? So basically, we got this magical storyline. They're not going to be able to prove that Malaya is hidden these kids anywhere. And guess what? And we're pointing the finger towards that because, you know, like I said, the master plan here is that they're hidden. Police will never know. Never know. Right? Janie herself, her own words. Right? Belinda said she was there searching. There's no way. Everyone has basically said no way that those children could have gotten in the woods. I had to carry Jack. Right? You can't make Jack do something that he's not going to do. Lily, she doesn't like bugs. Lily, she screams and runs inside. Lily doesn't like bugs. Remember, Daniel, you said that whenever the children get wet or whatever, they run back inside. Right? There's no nothing. There's no nappy. There's no nothing. No knapsack found in the wood. Nothing. Right? We all know that searcher, like I said, she's not given all the information, right? She just goes by what she does. And to me, that was a politically correct answer about, well, yeah. I mean, I think that they're in the woods, right? Right. That and a bunch of leprechauns running around. Absolutely. For sure. All these little mushroom caps and stuff like that. Oops, Lily, Jack. Come up where you are. Wait, Lily, did you start liking bugs and insects now? That you just kept going deeper and deeper into those woods? Give me a break. If anyone's seen those woods, right? But Janie, out of her own mouth, says that there's no way they're in the woods. Daniel, nope, definitely not in the woods. Does that mean we should check the woods? Because really that they're somewhere out in the woods, maybe not close to your home, you know, but that they're somewhere in the woods, perhaps. Because they're definitely not in there, Janie says, right? And Janie also says that I know these roads. Right? I've lived here for 26 years in this trailer, right? There's no way, she says, that anyone is just going to all of a sudden, just like I said, that all of a sudden a vehicle these two children, right? Because she didn't hear Jackie boy. She didn't hear Jackie boy. So she heard the kids outside on the swings, but she didn't hear Jackie boy. So how can you claim at any point that these kids made it to the street? Because you would have heard Jackie boy, Jackie boy, Jackie boy. Come on, Jackie boy. You know what? Let's just get to the end of the street. Wait for that one special vehicle to drive by. You know, there's no scent at all past their driveway, right? You got probably what I'm going to deem as myself, my own opinion, whatever footprint that was that's on the pipeline, you know, however that's deemed. Do you honestly think that out of all this thing that the kids are going to be able to get all the way down to this magical pipeline, you know, and place a footprint there, a bare one at that, and put one down that pipeline, and that there's no other footprints up until leading to that besides a footprint? You know, we don't even know if it's anything to do with them whatsoever, to be honest. But let's talk about that pink blanket, right? Who's swearing that that pink blanket wasn't there? Who is it that's swearing that they didn't see that pink blanket in the morning? Right? Who's saying that? Daniel is. I know Daniel is. Or why am I going to believe you when I don't believe anything else you say? Why would I even remotely believe that this magical pink blanket, right, that somebody went in there and placed it in a tree, right, and that you are claiming that it wasn't there when you first went by? I call bullshit on that too, myself. I call bullshit. I think that was a misdirect. I think that was a misdirection. Absolutely. Right? Malaya, if you can just provide those two shirts that you said you have nothing of Daniel's with when you left. You said you took only your stuff and put it in a Puma bag with mostly Meadow stuff. You know, maybe Malaya can confirm that she did, you know, see the children, seen Lily that morning, you know, or just whose story is this, right? Doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense and it's BS. Right? But your own mother said that they couldn't be in the woods and that there's no way an abduction happened by some random stranger. And she places the kids, last hearing them, on the swing set. But don't forget, Daniel's not in a deep sleep and didn't hear them. And he didn't definitely hear them open and close the door either. Right? Their own words. That's all I got to say. It's their own words. I mean, at what point do you not get bored of listening to a bunch of BS? At what point do you not get bored of trying to ask Daniel questions in Facebook groups as if he's going to tell you the truth, as if he's going to be truthful? I don't think he's a monster. Sonny, I'm not a monster. No, I don't think you're a monster. What I personally think is that you guys are absolutely bullshitting the time of events and it's a cover-up. That's what I think, right? Based on your own words, right? You lied about not doing drugs, and yet Malaya says that you did, allegedly, right? I believe that. I absolutely believe that. Ding, ding. I hear my phone. Ding, 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 ding. It's
Malaya sent me the picture of it. That's all I know. There was a footprint found.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, the footprint was here. The only one that they can confirm that was Lily and Jack's was right here.
So it was child size.
Yes, a man, one of the investigators came in here and was measuring it all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to lie. I
not here to lie. Left that on a good spot, didn't I? Let me just play that piece again. Hold on.
found.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, the footprint was here. The only one that they can confirm that was Lily and Jack's was right here.
So
I'm confused by that. The only one that they can confirm is Lily and Jack's right here. There was only one. But the only one that they can confirm is that it was Lily and Jack's right here. Definitely. What do you guys think about that, actually? Right? The only one that you can confirm is Lily and Jack's right here. I'm going to play that one more time for you guys.
Bootprint.
There was supposed to be a footprint found way up on the pipeline.
Right.
Malaya sent me the picture of it. That's all I know. There was a footprint found.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, the footprint was here. The only one that they can confirm that was Lily and Jack's was right here.
So it was child size.
Yes.
It's just that rings wrong to me. There's only one. But the only one they confirmed was Lily and Jack's right here. Now, wouldn't it just have been, maybe it should have been Lily or Jack's, right? Yes. Oh, look at that face. No, they went back to search the pipeline and stuff like that. Remember, they went back to search specific areas with that. And guess what? They came up with big freaking hockey puck 0 on that one. But okay, Janie.
A man, one of the investigators came in here and was measuring it all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to lie. The reason why I wanted you guys to come here and do the interview here is to show you exactly where everything took place. And to show people that this is what happened. All the stuff that people, all the rumors and accusations about us murdering the kids and burying them on the property, this place has been searched thoroughly. The well has been checked, the septic tank, all the barns were searched. My RV was searched 3 times. The trailer was searched. This whole place was searched. If they want to come back and search again, they're more than welcome.
You've talked about drones flying over your property. You've talked about cars driving down the road and slowing down. What's that been like?
I'm scared to go out sometimes in my own property. I mostly stay around back here. And if I do go out front for anything, I usually have my head down because I don't want people to see who I am. That is me myself. It's not because I'm hiding from anybody. I don't like to be on camera. I don't like my picture taken. I'm just a quiet person that just wants to be left alone, and I mind my own business. I'm just a hermit.
Do you feel as if the finger has been pointed towards you and Daniel?
Yes, I do. Because I live on the property. Come on.
Do you think your son had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No, I don't believe Daniel had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily. Our heart don't lie, and my heart is telling me that my kid did not have nothing to do with this, and I had nothing to do with this. You know, if something bad happens, you get like your heart drops. Mine hasn't dropped. Deep down in my heart, I do believe Jack and Lily are alive. It's not because of what people are saying. It's my heart tells me that they are alive.
Well, my heart tells me different. My heart tells me that these children aren't alive. That's what my heart says. That's what Belinda's heart says. It's that these children aren't alive. And why? I don't know, because this whole concocted story of Malaya having hidden these children, you know, is absolutely still absurd. I mean, their own words have backfired on all of their timelines. All of their timelines. Right? Malaya's acting strange. Malaya's acting oddly, I feel, in my personal perception of what's going on here. And I think it's because, again, in my personal opinion, that because they're both culpable of knowing what happened to Jack and Lily, and that it's a cover-up of truly what happened to Jack and Lily. And there's this, and again, you look at a couple things there, that Janie swears on her life, swears on everyone's life, basically, that she heard Jack and Lily that morning, you know. Well, again, who told you? Daniel, Malaya, you guys got it all confused. The timeline's not straight. I think it's more to do with Ruggs, if anything. There's another option there, but I'll leave that one alone, because I think the most practical one for me is the fact that Ruggs were involved in what happened to Jack and Lily, whether it was accidental or not. Seeing how Malaya's actions are with everything, I see it as somebody hiding the truth that her probably, and this is again my opinion, okay? I feel like Cindy knows that there's bullshit going on with her daughter. I think that definitely that she went to the reserve. Her mother, I mean, Darren said he spoke to Cindy. And basically, and I don't want to say this is verbatim, but close enough. That she basically says, Darren, like, I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. I'm not talking about it. And she wouldn't. Malaya was supposed to meet up with, Darren was supposed to meet up with Malaya. I think that Malaya, myself, is naive. I think that she's easily swayed, is my perception. But I think that they're both culpable of knowing what happened to Jack and Lily. And like I said, I believe that Cindy has knowledge of that her daughter is lying. I think that Wade is correct when he says that all three of them should be arrested, is my personal feeling. Because a mother can justify herself till they're blue in the face about why they're doing things, just like Janie can justify herself about why she didn't go to the vigil or put up posters and stuff like that, or why the family, like that nobody's rallying around each other. It's like Side Brooks is, probably believing in Malaya, and I just think that, Malaya, that she knows the truth. She's afraid of the truth because it's going to impact Meadow and much, much more. Freedom, perhaps. Daniel's doing this weird thing, but I think that Malaya left on that day, the after, because she wanted out. But I also think that because the two of them are culpable, that's where kind of like Malaya took down Daniel's pictures. I really think that she blames him for what happened to Jack and Lily, but knowing full well that this will impact her as well. And most people will go to save their own asses because they don't want to do any jail time. And they certainly don't want to lose this child, Meadow. And I think that Meadow seems to be the most important thing, like Belinda thinks as well, when it comes to Jack and Lily. Again, I think that the answers are already clear to me, that this happened sometime in the evening time into the morning, and that they concocted this story. And that's why it doesn't match. And that's why you can't make sense of it, because no matter what they say, you'll never make sense of it. The only time you might make sense of it all is when the RCMP concludes their investigation onto Jack and Lily. I just do not feel like they're alive myself. Right? And you guys pretty much show that by your, whenever I do polls, you guys, it's always the highest. So this poll was, let's see. Did Daniel opening up change your mind with his latest details? So Daniel, this is for you to hear because this is where the public is at. 49% being the highest said no. The next one is absolutely not, is 27%. 14% said yes, so you might have swayed a few, or ones that were already, believing in you anyway. And 10% said maybe a little. So if we were to take that, that's 60, 70, 76. So again, we're kind of at that 76 mark. So 76% feel like that whole spiel you gave didn't change anything. I know you're trying hard. Don't get me wrong. It's like a little puppet, going in and out and just keep trying to say the same stuff. There's like, when he does say stuff, it's nothing in his favor. That's for sure. On that, she wanted, well, obviously Lobster. She wanted to sleep with his shirts. Yeah. Prob not, though. Prob not. Maybe. I doubt it. But again, it's your own vision to feel. I'm just yes, I'm coming up with my own theory, but I'm using all their words to why I come up with that theory myself. Somebody wanted me to show the picture again. Was it this one or this one? Or was it this one? Somebody asked me to show the picture again. Okay. So I can't remember. Somebody said something about a pothole or something for this point. Now, 1 second here. So I'm gonna go to this part. Hey guys, what's going on? Why are you guys dinging? You guys dinging. I forgot that my phone's on. Hear my phone dinging. Oh, I think it's Charmaine and Kent. Oh, my husband has a Dremel. No idea. Huh. Not even sure what you guys are talking about. Anyways, let me go. Yeah, you can see the corner of it in the dirt. Look up left side. The left side where the greenery is that what you're referring to? That looks like one of those drainage pieces right there. That's like a drainage thing. When it rains and then it's got to drain. Is that what you're talking about? I'll always love you forever in lipstick on the mirror. Huh. Before she left, like a romance Hollywood movie, right? Huh. That's just staining. Not sure what you guys are all looking at. What about the roof? I don't even know what you guys are talking about, some of you. I see Reverend Donna said she was wanting to do location readings for missing children, boots on the ground from now on. And I think it would be beneficial for this case on there. Hi, Women's Warrior. You know, a lot of people have hard time with children. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to come off of this picture, guys. You guys can screenshot it, point out whatever you like. Share screen. No, I don't want to go there. Don't want to go there. I want to go here. Now, I'm pretty sure that this guy's channel went down because I was looking for him. If you guys, I think I have it in my thing still here. You guys should really go to subscribe to him. He does really good videos when he does, but I'm pretty sure his channel was down. He's only at 148 subscribers, and he doesn't have a lot of videos, but the videos he does do, he's the one that has all the interviews of Daniel Martell on his site here. I'm pretty sure. Right here. Okay. That's his channel. This is right here. But I'm going to, well, you guys got the link there, right? Let me just Hunter. Just going to quickly go back to this for a second so I can drop it. I do recommend, like, honestly, the few videos that he has and stuff like that, and I'm sure there'll be more to come, but I would highly recommend make sure that if you do sub up, make sure you say, leave a comment there. Says that you came from It's a Crime and Shame channel, because we're using this person's content on there. But that's, I recommend this, especially if you want to keep remembering where those interviews are, all of Daniel's that he has in chronological order. And
come out through here.
I want to see something. 1 second.
I would have heard them yelling.
It's not.
Come
He's
on,
not
Jackie,
playing
let's
this
go,
whole
Jackie, let's
thing,
go.
just parts.
I didn't hear anything.
What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep, and they're not the type of kids that we tell.
Right? At what point does she say, I seen Lily come into the room? She's never said, I've seen Lily. So why is Daniel trying to change that narrative again? Right? I mean, if it would have been said like that from the first time, then that would make sense. But it hasn't been said like that. I know that there's one article out there that I do remember where it said that, they both heard it. But that was through Daniel. That wasn't through Malaya saying that. Right? Malaya has never said, I seen Lily come into the bedroom. So why is Daniel changing that? Trisha, the rule of law is fundamental principle of Canada's democracy. We don't just put people in jail because we're pretty sure they did something without it, people. Obviously not. It's not really how the system works that way, And in a case such as this, if there will be arrests, it's because they're doing as much or having as much that they can to prove a case, right? You're not going to rush into it. Still have to know about why cadaver dogs were not brought in. 1 second here. Anyway, I'm going to play this for a second, and then I'm going to come back because I just want to look for something.
Tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them, and they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call.
Malaya and baby were asleep. Lily came in multiple times. I was not in deep sleep by any means. And then about 20 minutes passed, and then I woke up. Malaya was right beside me. She was still asleep. And I said, I don't hear Lily and Jack. So I jumped straight up out of bed. Silence is never a good thing when you have kids, because they're getting into something. And then we noticed the boots were gone. We went outside, made our way into the backyard. We didn't see them anywhere. And Malaya said, should I call 911? And I said, well, just wait 1 second. I ran up in the woods to the kids. They have cabins up in the woods. It's about, 100 feet up in the woods. Ran up there, ran right back down, which only took me like 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
And I was screaming for Lily and Jack, all the way out when I was running up to the cabins. And my mother heard me, so she came out and said, what's going on? And I said, Lily and Jack are missing.
The next thing I heard.
Yeah. Starting again. Wasn't in a deep sleep by no means, right? But yet he didn't hear the kids outside playing, right? Didn't hear that. Didn't hear the door open up, but he wasn't in a deep sleep. Lily woke him up. Anyways, whatever to that BS. Okay, let's just see what this says here. Okay. Cadaver dogs, also known as human remains detection dogs, HRDDS, are specifically trained to detect the scent of human decomposition, whereas scent dogs can be trained to detect a variety of human scents, including those associated with live individuals. Cadaver dogs are used in forensic context to locate human remains, while scent dogs are used in search and rescue to find missing persons, right? Now, cadaver dogs, let's see what it says. Cadaver dogs are trained to detect the human-specific scent of human decomposition, which can include the scent of recently deceased individuals, buried remains, and even older, more decomposed remains. Detection focus, they are trained to find both ground and airborne scent, and they alert handlers to the area with the highest scent concentration. Applications. Cadaver dogs are used in criminal investigations, search and rescue operations, and to locate unmarked grave sites. Examples: HRDDs have been used to locate unmarked graves at residential school sites and in other contexts where human remains are suspected. Scent dogs. Scent dogs can be trained to detect various human scents, including those associated with the live individuals, e.g. personal items, footprints. Detection focus. They are trained to follow a scent trail on the ground or in the air to locate a person or object. Scent dogs are used in search and rescue missions to find missing persons, lost hikers, or individuals who may have wandered from their homes. Example: air scent dogs, trailing dogs, and water dogs are all examples of scent dogs with specialized training. Key differences summarized. Training. Cadaver dogs are trained for decomposition scent detection, while scent dogs have a broader range of scent detection capabilities. Purpose. Cadaver dogs are used for forensic and recovery purposes, while scent dogs are used for search and rescue missions. Detection focus. Cadaver dogs focus on the scent of death, while scent dogs can track a variety of human scents. Okay, so I just wanted to go over that with you guys. So we know that scent dogs, bloodhounds, whatever, were used in Jack and Lily's case. We haven't heard, because Daniel says that he has information on this about cadaver dog, with the case. Nobody seems to, within the circle of people, know if cadaver dogs were used. I highly find it unlikely that they were used. And maybe, just maybe, I don't know. I don't even have an answer for that, to be honest, because I'm thinking, well, if a site is contaminated, right, obviously, any of that information won't matter because it's contaminated now by people being in and out of the trailer, all that stuff going on, because they were looking at it like it was missing persons, and it's still deemed as missing persons, right? Jack and Lily. Again, so hence why, the plausibility of them being in the woods is very, very low. Considering not only is the entire family saying that, meaning Janie and Daniel, Belinda, anyone that's traipsed in those woods, they're like, I know when Daniel was showing this neighbor 8 kilometers away, like obviously that wasn't, and then they showed the search. He showed the searcher video, but obviously that one that's 8 kilometers away. They used the 8 o'clock timeline because that's what they were told, between 8 and 8:30. Now, how far can 2 children go? And that's what determined the distance of how far they could go. They didn't deem it as an abduction because there was nothing to show that it was an abduction. Out of Janie's own mouth, she says, there's no way. Out of my own mouth, there's no way. There's no way. There's no scent. The scent dogs will pick up scent in the air, right? They'll pick up live scent in the air and stuff like that. That's their job. But they didn't pick up diddly shit past the driveway, right? So at what point did these kids start wandering down the road and start, heading off to Grandpa Earl's house? It's not happening. Especially these children that, to me, there's no, the kids were bad, got themselves dressed and mad and decided, you know what, I'm going to go to Grandpa Earl's house today. Go. It's kind of like Sebastian Rogers' case. To go against the grain of everything that children do, that 2 children, not just 1, but 2, are going to walk down that road and somehow get abducted, on their way by that one vehicle that might have passed them during this 20-minute time frame. No, it's a 20-minute time frame. That's not even really 20 minutes, but let's just say 20 minutes. It's not going to happen. Daniel's going to hop in his car. He's going to yell through the trees. And you're telling me that these kids are so far gone in 20 minutes. Right? Because, and the reason why is, again, in my opinion, is just because it's a lie, right? We can sit there and try to make this shit stick, but again, it's not going to stick because it's just a big pile of manure in my eyes and, all that stuff. It's 6:44. There's other stuff I was going to go through. But honestly, my husband wants to shampoo the carpet because we have carpet in this room only and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to let him do that. Thank you guys, though, for all being here. Thank you for becoming a member, Darlene, on this one. Thank you guys for, again, joining. Don't forget, right, tomorrow we'll be on the Drunk Turkey show, right? With DT, we'll say, with DT, right? Whoops. Right. All I see with that Amy Hansen, I think she's a very nice lady, but I also think that they're there to search for children. Polygraph. Right. I mean, they didn't find diddly squat, right? I don't believe that the searchers believe that they're definitely were alive in the woods after a week for sure. I think if anywhere these kids, myself, are out of the scope of that search area, I think that somebody, meaning Daniel, in my personal opinion, he knows the area. So I say when things look like they're planted to believe one thing, you go back in the opposite direction, like the Barry Morphew case when he planted his wife's helmet and bike this way, and really it was the other way, stuff like that. I just think that, again, my own personal opinion, it's not going to be swayed, right? I mean, no, it's not. That's not fair to say. Is that my personal opinion can be swayed, but not after watching 3 months of bullshit go on. It's going to take a mountain, a skyscraper, whatever. It's going to take a whole lot of truthfulness. And I just don't see that happening. And so for me, this becomes about, okay, you know what? If more information happens to come out, you know, maybe Malaya speaks out more, maybe somebody speaks out more, that somehow brings more light to this BS. That would be nice, you know, considering Jack and Lily are the victims here. These other people aren't victims, you know. Some of them are victims, of course, of you know, sadly having to deal with the fact that Jack and Lily are missing, like Belinda and other family members out there. You know, I'm sure Belinda's son Cody, regardless of what anyone thinks, is I'm thinking that he's probably really devastated. Like, you don't go through life. Sure, you might, you know, make up some fucked up choices and shit like that. But, you know, these children, I'm sure, still means something to the paternal father, Cody, and that he's probably, you know, just wants to know that his children are still alive, you know. But I think that most people know that that's wishful thinking. That's hopeful thinking. But again, buying into this whole hidden thing, it's not going to happen on my end. I've tried, but you know what? Their timeline breaks down. Their timeline can't justify Malaya putting these kids in a vehicle. It can't justify why a mother would hide their kids on some sort of reserve and nobody come forward and try to claim that $150,000 dangling in their face, right? Amy is the head searcher. Yeah, Amy's the head searcher. Yeah. Yeah, did you sub up for Hunter? Yeah. Okay. Again, he has, well, hold on. How long is it again? Let me see. Actually, okay. You know what? Maybe let's watch this together and then I'll head off. Okay? Were the footprints of Daniel, Sunny, were there footprints of Daniel? No, not that we've ever heard of, at all. Stop screen, share screen. So yeah, so let's watch this together. It's all his interviews in chronological order. Day 1, all interviews in chronological order.
Last few days are very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning when we noticed that the children were gone, immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there. And as soon as I noticed them weren't there, I immediately jumped right in the vehicle and surveyed all the area, every dirt road, every culvert that I could find. As soon as I seen they were missing, I jumped right in the vehicle and I did every dirt road and searched every culvert. The very first day I wasn't around very much because I was just searching. I was running through the woods, screaming their name till my throat hurt. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister. And Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister. You know, they took their boots. That's pink boots for Lily, blue boots for Jack with dinosaurs on them. Lily had her backpack with white, and it was white with strawberries on it. I imagine now if they're in the woods that it'd be probably brown, but I don't see them carrying their backpack. I don't see them keeping a pull-up one for that long after it got soaked from the very first day. We only found the 2 boot tracks outside of the house.
Whereabouts?
Right beside the house, probably 10 feet away from the backyard.
In the backyard, okay.
Nothing new other than the helicopters are still in the air, and they had dogs. They took around the dogs today, and as of last night, they had 8 more drones going on with infrared. I urge the public to come out if you have anything, come out as fast as possible and get it to any detachment or any police service that you have available to get to talk to. We were searching. We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day, we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in military outfit said I could go back into the woods. I hate being wet and cold, so they immediately would have came right back into the house. The only two prints are right beside the house facing the road, and then that's it. Just waiting and waiting for them to come home. Hardly any evidence at all since the first day. It's mind-boggling that nothing else was found. The last of RCMP in the area that I've seen, they were at Lansdowne Lake, and they told me that they scoured the lake, divers, and sonared the lake, and there's no evidence at all. If they were in this area, would have found them. My family's still searching.
You said they're flying in someone to do a polygraph test. Is that on you?
That's not just on me, but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think their side of the family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else. No idea. I had no idea. I'm still searching every day. I'm waiting for information. I have to let them do a lot of their stuff with the aircrafts and everything else, and dogs and searchers. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be coordinated, and I can't just go running through the woods. I want to, but I just can't right now because the search is just so far out. Still holding out hope. I don't know why they didn't find anything from Jack's pull-up to her backpack or any of her belongings at all. They just haven't found anything. I've done everything. I've given them all my information. I'm here to find the kids. Well, I know they can't go forever. I mean, there's search and rescue workers searchers that have already been injured. They've spent so much resources. I mean, resources doesn't matter at this point, but I mean, everybody's tired. There's some people that I don't think they even went home. I'm absolutely exhausted at this point after going through 6 days of virtual hell. It's absolutely crazy. So I'm just fighting for Lily and Jack. It breaks my heart. Pure exhaustion at this point. I mean, sadness just turns to anger because there's no answers. And I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to get answers. Bring cadaver dogs. They search for anything they can find. I want as much as they can do. Me and my family still go out sometimes and search, but everything's been searched that we can really dive into at this time. They have over 12,000 man-hours searched in the woods, and they're planning on doing more, which I'm really grateful for. Every day when I wake up, it just feels like I'm reliving a nightmare of May 2nd. But the main feelings from sadness have just turned to anger because there's no evidence as of after 1 month, and it's really taken a toll. I know that they're working hard and they're using every resource they have, and it makes me hopeful because that's all we have at this point is this hope. I know the truth. I didn't kill Lily and Jack.
It's been 6 weeks now since you've seen Lily and Jack. I just want to ask, how are you holding up?
It's been a long 6 weeks. I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is always wanting to know like what happened. It's been from sadness to anger at this point. And I know the RCMP and major crimes are working around the clock trying to piece everything together, and I'm grateful for that. But it always leaves the question, 6 weeks has gone by, and we know at this point they're not in the woods. And where are they?
Did you feel in the beginning that they suspected you?
Of course. The stepfather was always a prime suspect right off the beginning.
You felt that from the beginning.
Yeah.
But you don't feel that now.
No, I don't feel that at all. I asked for the lie detector exam, the polygraph exam. I gave them my phone. I told them do drug tests because there's a lot of rumors online about a drug party. I know the person that said those rumors, and it was just to take the heat off themselves.
Was there any kind of party?
No.
Was there any kind of gathering that someone might have thought was a party?
No.
There were no people at the house?
No. Not the night before.
Okay, you mentioned you offered to take a polygraph test.
Yeah.
Did the RCMP take you up on that?
Yes, it did.
And how did that unfold?
That unfolded in my favor. They obviously know I wasn't lying about anything.
So they said, yep, great, thank you, come in for a polygraph test.
Yeah, it took a little while to set up. And
when did you do that test?
I don't know the exact date, but that would be at least 3 weeks ago, probably.
So roughly 3 weeks after the disappearance.
Yeah.
And I think most Canadians wouldn't have any idea what's involved with that. Can you describe the process? You go in and just tell us right from the start.
We go in, sit down in a big comfy chair, and they have multiple sensory pads. You have them underneath your forearms, you have them underneath your butt, and you have them underneath your feet with your shoes off. You have a sweat gland on one finger. You have a measuring instrument for blood flow that goes in and out of your hand. And you have a cuff on your arm for blood pressure to measure your pulse.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was extremely nervous. Especially with the first question they asked you, did you kill Lily and Jack?
That was the first question they asked you?
Yeah. Yeah.
What went through your mind when someone's asking you that question so point blank like that?
Your mind has a massive release of chemicals, I guess you would call them. It's like your stress levels just astronomically through the roof, and your body doesn't know what to do because it's not every day the way you're hooked up to machines in an interrogation room where someone asks you questions like that.
What other kinds of questions did they ask you?
All the questions pertain to the death of Lily and Jack. Are you accessory to the murder of Lily and Jack? They were all.
So all of the questions assumed that the children are no longer alive?
Yeah.
There were no questions at all about, did you take them somewhere? Could they be somewhere?
No.
The police have done a number of polygraph tests. They've done 53 formal interviews. Do you know who these people are?
Yeah.
That's a lot of interviews.
It is a lot of interviews. A lot of them are my family, people that live in the area. And those interviews, typically my interview was 4 hours. And a lot of the interviews from my family were 1-2 hours. So there's a lot of time taken up and they ask detailed questions.
Do you know who else actually took a polygraph test?
I do, but I'm not going to say anything that's going to impede the investigation.
Okay. When did you find out the result of your test?
Immediately right after.
What did they say to you?
You did a good job, you passed.
And how did that feel?
Good.
And did you feel that there was any further suspicion on you after that point, or was that sort of conclusive?
No, that was really when I seen the turning point for it's starting to taper off with investigators.
Do you know if Malaya has taken one?
I don't know if I can say, but I will anyway. Yes, she did take one.
Okay, she took one. Do you know the result?
No. RCMP weren't allowed to tell me I asked.
You said you feel like everyone in the world wants to know what happened to Lily and Jack.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think this is getting so much attention?
Well, just the mysterious and nature of everything and how strange everything is. The RCMP, they have to keep a tight lip on everything, but there's a lot more that meets the eye with the case.
Is there something that you think the public doesn't know that you can share that you want the public to know?
That's a hard one because I don't want to impede the investigation in any way. It is still a missing persons investigation. It hasn't pivoted to any type of criminal investigation. But the kids were seen the day before. I know a lot of people didn't know that. I still see a lot of stuff online that the kids could have been missing for days. They were out of school for days, and they were seen in the Glasgow area on camera the day before this appearance in the afternoon.
Where was that?
I don't know if I can say that, but it was near the Highland Square Mall.
Was it with you?
It was with me, Malaya, and Meadow, and Lily and Jack were there too.
And are the police aware of that?
The police were aware of that since.
Do they have that video?
Yes, they do. I also talked to my coworker in the parking lot as well, and he verified that with investigators as well. So for all the speculation, they were gone days ahead of time, or they were seen the afternoon on camera before the disappearance.
Why do you think the police are asking for video dating back, days before that?
Well, the reason for that is they want to see the traffic of the vehicles on the roads in the area, right? Maybe vehicles that were traveling that area a lot over the last few days prior to hand, or vehicles that, weren't seen in the area, or vehicles that were seen in the area, like local people that are, making frequent trips past the house, or which it's all considered evidence. I mean, the more pictures and videos is the better.
They say they have hundreds of hours of video.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if they've found anything on those videos?
I think it was up to 2 weeks ago, they had footage that they examined for evidence that was 8 kilometers diameter out from the house. So that was after a month. That's how long it took to get footage and review it 8 kilometers out. So
but what's on the video?
I don't know. I'm only limited by what they tell me.
How often are they in touch with you?
Investigators now, I'd say maybe once every 5 days. And usually I'm the one who calls or messages them.
And how has that changed over the course of the 6 weeks?
Well, from the beginning, it was almost daily, tapering off to where it's only like once every 5 days now.
And how do you feel about that?
It's good. It's good and bad. I mean, I like to talk to them in person about any little small details I come up with, or anything I can try to bring to their attention, which may help the investigation. So I don't get to see them often, so it's always over phone or messaging, and it's hard to really convey what you want to say when you're not in person. But then I also know the eye's not on me. The investigators don't see me as part of the disappearance.
How do you know that?
Well, when you're going from daily to tapering off every 5 days, I mean, I already gave them everything on my phone. I'm the one who originally said, here, take my phone. We'll go through all my banking information. We'll go through all my stuff on my GPS from Google.
And you were offering all that up right from the
Yeah, I
beginning.
offered everything.
And why were you doing that?
To show them that I want to get the investigation moving. I know I have nothing to do with any of it. A lot of speculation is you killed the kids. We'll just come out and say it straight as it is.
What do you think when you read that?
It's a lot of nonsense, obviously. I know the truth. I didn't kill Lily and Jack. And I just think a lot of people online they're seeking drama. That's the main thing. Everybody's allowed their own opinion, like I said before, but it's hard on the people that were actually there and missing the children. Still haven't got to see any of my kids, including Lily and Jack. And that's been really tough, going from a family of 7, including my other 2 kids that live in Halifax now. Going from a family of 7 in the blink of an eye, your family's ripped apart and you're left alone.
Okay. I'm back. My green on. 1 second. Hi, Belinda. Yeah, no, I don't know what beach that was at, to be honest, but it has to be I mean, obviously close. If Wade said that she's like at the beach all the time, right? I would think that depends what all the time means. But I would have to think of, let's see here. Yeah, sorry, you guys. I wanted to run that through because last time I went to go find this, like I couldn't find him at all, and the site seemed to be down, or taken down. So that's why I had to play it right out because I couldn't find it. I know I've played it already. So that's Hunter S. True Crime, you guys, for that. Let me look at something. 1 second. You know what? I'm gonna play that clip as quickly as I'm trying to look for something. Video file. A beach near Wentworth is Heather Beach near Pugwash, where Haley lives. So 1 sec, just give me a second here. I'm going to play this while I'm taking a look. Bear with me, okay, guys?
In the quiet dawn of a May morning, two little hearts went out to play. Lily's laughter, Jack's small footsteps vanished with the breaking day. Come home, Jack and Lily. We're praying for your steer. The woods are deep and silent, but our love will draw you near. Through forest paths and endless trees, searchers called your names aloud. Hope flickered in the morning breeze as prayers rose up to the clouds. Come home, Jack and Lily. We're praying for your steer. The woods are deep and silent, but our love will draw you near. The sun sets over Pictou County. Stars shine with gentle grace. The community holds a vigil, longing for your embrace. Jack and Lily. We're praying for yes, dear. The woods are deep of silence, but our love will draw you near.
I must have had a piece of video from that search. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. And to be honest with you, I'm Belinda. I'll talk to you in private message on there for that and see. The haunted house I live is in Wentworth is spooky on there. And so anyways, you guys, I'm going to leave this live at that right now, okay? So Belinda, I'll go to my messenger in just a second here. So don't forget, you guys, tomorrow night we'll be on the Drunk Turkey show. Me and Charmaine for sure. And drop that link once again. Again, as for S Hunter there, banners. That was for all the things that, like I said, I'd really honestly go suggest. He does good videos. He doesn't do a lot, but he does some. I would suggest go subbing up and just whenever sometimes somebody puts out a video, at least it's not an AI generated one and someone that does actually a good job. So I'm going to recommend that myself. 62 Ks to 62 kilometers to the beach. But anyways, other than that, you guys, I'm going to call it a day. Tomorrow I'm going to be going to the ocean myself. I'm going to be going over to what is deemed as White Rock, part of the Pacific Ocean here. I'll take a few pictures, maybe a couple videos and post them on shorts a little bit. But that's what the plan is with the husband so far, is go over there and go over to the well, there's quite a few restaurants there, but anyways, fish and chips. Anyways, you guys, Jack and Lily, obviously, again, if you haven't hit that like and the share, hit that like and the share. And again, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central, which should be 10 o'clock Halifax time, 6 o'clock my time and Charmaine's at that time. So you guys take care, all the best, and prayers for Jack and Lily. Absolutely. Yeah. So again, that's 8 p.m. Central. So depending where you are, Eastern, that's 9, Pacific, that's 6, Mountain, that would be 7, Nova Scotia time, that would be obviously 10 o'clock, Newfoundland, Labrador, that would be 10:30. All right. Yeah. A unicorn for Lily and bugs for Jack. Yeah. Anyways, you guys stay blessed. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a good one. Take care. And we're out of here.
A Norfolk night, the world is cold. We stand surrounded. We are not alone.